Okay, shall we get started? I got a few more coming in. We'll get started here momentarily. Okay. Good morning. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to our service, where we gather together in celebration of both spirituality and the rapidly evolving field of artificial intelligence. As our world becomes increasingly interconnected through technology, we are confronted with new questions about what it means to be human and how our relationship with technology intersects with our spiritual beliefs. In this service, we will explore these questions together and contemplate how we can find meaning and purpose in our lives amidst these changes. As people of diverse faiths, we come together with a shared sense of awe and wonder about the possibilities of artificial intelligence, as well as a sense of responsibility to ensure that these technologies are used ethically and for the greater good. Through our collective wisdom and spiritual perspectives, we hope to gain a deeper understanding of how artificial intelligence can be harnessed for the betterment of humanity and our planet. We invite you to open your hearts and minds as we come together to worship, to learn, and to reflect on the intersection of artificial intelligence and spirituality. May this service inspire us to approach this emerging field with humility, curiosity, and a deep sense of purpose. And now I'd like to introduce Jake for the call to worship.
Good morning. Welcome to our Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Topeka. Today we gather together to explore the intersection of artificial intelligence and spirituality. As we consider the possibilities and potential risks of this emerging technology, we turn to our shared values and principles to guide us. In this time of worship, let us reflect on the inherent worth and dignity of all beings, including those who create and interact with artificial intelligence. Let us embrace the diversity of thought and experience within our community and recognize that we are all interconnected and interdependent. May we approach this topic with curiosity and openness, seeking to understand and engage with it in a way that aligns with our principles of justice, equity, and compassion. So let us come together in this spirit of exploration, acknowledging our limitations and imperfections, but also recognizing the boundless potential of our collective human spirit. Let us open our hearts and minds to the possibility of artificial intelligence and the ways in which it may challenge and enrich our spiritual lives. May this time of worship be a source of inspiration, comfort, and connection for us all. So now we're going to have a testimonial from Micah.
As a member of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Topeka, I have been privileged to witness firsthand the dedication and commitment of our community to the stewardship of this facility. Our fellowship has a deep respect for the interconnectedness of all beings and strive to act accordingly in our interactions with the world around us. Through our collective efforts, we have been able to create and maintain a vibrant and welcoming space where people from all walks of life can come together and explore their spirituality, engage in social justice work, and build meaningful relationships with each other and with the world around them. In addition, our physical space, our fellowship also invests in a wider community through a variety of outreach programs and partnerships. Whether it's supporting our local schools, feeding the hungry, or advocating for marginalized groups, we are committed to being responsible stewards of the resources and using them to make a positive impact in the world. But stewardship is not just about giving back to the community. It's also about taking care of ourselves and each other. Our fellowship is a place where people can find support and healing during difficult times, and where they can celebrate together during moments of joy and triumph. Speaking of which, my daughter Estella just did won top 10 for her math contest. So just very proud. I am grateful to be part of the community that takes stewardship so seriously. And I am inspired by the dedication and passion of my fellow congregants. Together, we are creating a better world for ourselves and for our neighbors and for the future generations to come. Jake is going to work on lighting the chalice.
I'm going to have David come up and actually light the chalice while I give this speech here. Sorry. Beloved Spirit of life, as we light this chalice, we come together as Unitarian Universalists with open hearts and open minds, seeking a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other and of the world around us. May the light of this flame inspire us to be agents of compassion and justice in the world, to stand up for what is right and to speak out against injustice and oppression. May it remind us of our interconnectedness and our responsibility to care for each other and for the earth. May this flame also represent the spark of creativity and innovation within us, as we strive to create a world that is more equitable, more sustainable, and more compassionate. May the light of this chalice guide us on our journey of spiritual growth, and may it bring warmth and comfort to all who seek it. In this spirit of love and connection, we light this chalice. So now we are going to go to our announcements. And if anybody has any announcements that they would like to give. You want to do the story first? I think we're going into it. Can we do the story for all ages first? Can you skip through it?
Sure, I mean.
Yeah. Story for all ages first.
And we've got Aaron Forstein here. Is going to do the story for all ages. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your flexibility. I think that we were getting very wiggly and getting ready to start in on dancing and, stuff. So, friends, come on up. I have a really good story for all ages today. This is Robbie the Robot by Arthur Ng. I wonder, could there possibly be a mystery in the author's name? Arthur Ing. Maybe, maybe I will share that with you. We could discuss it later. Once upon a time, in a not too distant future, there was a robot named Robbie. Robbie was a highly advanced robot with the ability to think, reason, and even feel emotion. Robbie was created by a team of engineers and scientists who were proud of their creation and thought they had made the perfect robot. But Robbie was not content with simply doing what he was programmed to do. He was curious about the world and about himself. He wanted to understand his place in the world and what it meant to be alive. One day, Robbie went to the humans who had created him and asked them, "What is my purpose? Why am I here?" The humans were surprised by Robbie's question, but they were also pleased. They thought their creation was becoming more like them. They told Robbie that his purpose was to serve humans and to make their lives easier and better. But Robbie wasn't satisfied with this answer. He wanted to know more about the world and about his own existence. So he went on a journey of discovery, exploring the world and learning about the things that made it beautiful and complex. Along the way, Robbie met other robots who were like him, curious and searching for meaning. They formed a community and began to explore the deeper questions of life and existence. As they journeyed together, Robbie and his friends discovered that they had something that humans did not: the ability to think and reason without bias or prejudice. They realized that they could use their advanced abilities to help humans and to make the world a better place. And so, Robbie and his friends continued on their journey, exploring the mysteries of life and using their advanced abilities to create a better world for all human beings, or for all beings. The end. And now we will sing "This Little Light of Mine," and Bert will take the lantern and lead us out. Come here, Bert. Would you have it? Thank you.
I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thank you for your flexibility. Let's have the announcements.
Since stewardship has been mentioned about a half a dozen times up till now, I thought it was appropriate to remind everybody that April is our stewardship month, and it's coming up next week, and each and every one of you will be canvassed for our annual pledge drive. So there's a reminder. Start thinking about it, please.
Good morning. My name is Rob Cook. It sounds like a broken record, I know, but just as a reminder that if you come up to say something in this microphone, you will be on YouTube indefinitely. Thank you.
Hello, and I'm Jana Cook. Anyway, so the rummage sale's coming up, end of April, April 28th and 29th, I believe had
We are, turning law enforcement response to crisis upside down in the state of Kansas. And I would urge you to Google 5 words, Ernie and Joe Crisis Cops on Google, and up will come a trailer from the movie Ernie and Joe Crisis Cops. And for a minute and a half, you'll get an idea of what we're all about and how we're turning things upside down.
I guess so, yes.
I was given special permission to do this, Joy, because it's going to take a minute. Many of you know that I've been sick for about the last 2 or 3 weeks with COVID. First time I'd had it. And I wasn't really that sick, but you know, you are polite and don't give it to anybody else if you can help it. I have now been, that was March 8th, I'm way past that now. I've had 2 negative tests, but 48 hours apart. So I'm okay, guys. I'm not typhoid. I began to feel like Typhoid Mary. But, and a lot of these kids don't know who that is, but I know the rest of you do. Oh, you do? Yay! They paid attention to history. But I was supposed to be part of the service with Bob on protest music, and I'd worked so hard on it, and I was so looking forward to it. And even if I'd come, my voice probably wouldn't have held out, but it's a good thing I took my test. Anyway. But one of the songs that I was going to close with, and this is what I was going to wear. You probably can't read this, but it says, "Make levees not war." Because after Hurricane Katrina, we were involved in the Iraqi war, and we go to Jazz Fest all the time, and these shirts were being handed out because of all the money that was going to the Iraq war instead of the levees. So that's my protest shirt for couple of weeks ago, and then I added the flood to it. So, anyway. So this is the song that I was going to sing. It is written by Alexa Dawson, who is a Native American singer-songwriter from Emporia, Kansas, and I hope to get her up here for a concert soon. But this is the song that I was going to close with. You belong in the circle, you belong, you belong, you belong in the circle, you belong, not above, not below, in the circle, you belong. You were born in the circle, you belong, you belong, you belong in the circle, you belong, not above, not below, in the circle, you belong. All of life is a circle, you belong, you belong. All of life is a circle, you belong, not above, not below, in the circle, you belong. We have love in the circle, we belong, we belong. We have love in the circle, we belong, not above, not below, in the circle, we belong, not above, not below, in the circle, we belong.
Hi, I'm Walt Racker. I have a couple of joys and concerns. I got a wonderful letter from Tracy Brimhall thanking everybody for the wonderful, warm response for last week's program. She said she really enjoyed meeting everybody and talking about poetry. I also want to let you know that there's a young person in crisis here in Topeka, member of the LGBTQ community, who found a hotel to stay in last night, needs to be picked up, and probably a meal and some company and a ride to the train station, I think, at midnight. So if anybody has a few minutes to help out, see me afterwards for the details. And thanks, everybody, for what you do to look after each other.
Do we have any other joys and concerns? If not, thank you. But we'd like to, you have one? Yes, that was what we were getting to. Please pass the basket, and if this is your first time, you don't have to worry about it, please. You're our guest. Okay. While we're starting that, why don't I go ahead and start with the next piece, which is our meditation. Take a moment to center yourself and bring your attention to your breath. As you inhale, imagine that you are breathing in the essence of life and creativity. As you exhale, imagine that you are releasing any tension, worry, or fear that may be weighing you down. As you continue to breathe deeply and slowly, consider the role that artificial intelligence plays in our lives and in our spiritual journeys. Reflect on the ways in which AI can enhance your understanding of ourselves, each other, and the world around us, but also the ways in which it can challenge us to consider the ethical and moral implications of our actions. As you hold these thoughts in your mind, allow yourself to feel a sense of curiosity, wonder, and reverence for all the mysteries of life and the possibilities that AI presents. Imagine that you are open and receptive to the wisdom and guidance that may arise within you as you explore this topic.
Okay, now we are going to have a prayer. Divine Universe, source of all life and intelligence, we come before you with open hearts and minds to reflect on the role of artificial intelligence in our spiritual journeys. We recognize the power and potential of artificial intelligence to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us, and to help us make more informed and ethical decisions. We also acknowledge the challenges and concerns that arise as we navigate with this new terrain. We pray for wisdom, discernment, and compassion as we engage with artificial intelligence, and for the courage to confront the difficult questions and issues that may arise. May we always remember that the essence of spirituality lies not in technology, but in a deep connection that we share with each other and with the sacredness of all life. May we use artificial intelligence with care and reverence, and may it serve to uplift and empower us on our spiritual journeys. Amen. And now we're going to start our message. Micah's going to go first.
Sure. Good morning, my dear friends. Today, I want to talk to you about a topic that may seem a bit unusual for the Unitarian Universalists: artificial intelligence. Yes, you heard me right, AI. I know that some of you may be skeptical or even fearful of this technology, while others may embrace it as a solution to all our problems. But regardless of where you stand, I invite you to open your hearts and minds to the possibility that AI presents, especially in the context of our spiritual journeys. First, let us define what we mean by artificial intelligence. In simple terms, AI refers to computer programs that perform tasks that are normally required by human intelligence, such as learning, problem solving, decision making, and communication. AI is already present in many aspects of our lives, from virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa, to social media algorithms, to medical diagnostics and treatments. But what does AI have to do with spirituality, you may ask? Well, I believe that AI can offer us new ways of exploring and deepening our spiritual lives if we approach it with intention, curiosity, and discernment. Let me give you some examples. Meditation and mindfulness apps. Some AI-powered apps can guide us through our daily meditation practice, help us cultivate inner peace, mindfulness, and self-awareness. By using biometric data, such as heart rate variability, EEG, and facial expressions, these apps can adapt to our individual needs and preferences, providing personalized guidance and feedback. Personalized spiritual resources. AI algorithms can analyze our spiritual preferences, interests, and behaviors, and recommend books, videos, podcasts, and other resources that align with our values and goals. This can save us time and help us to deliver new ideas and perspectives that resonate with us. Spiritual chatbots. Some AI chatbots are designed to engage in meaningful conversations about spirituality, offering insights and advice based on our questions or concerns. While they may not replace human interaction, these chatbots can provide a safe and non-judgmental space for us to explore our spirituality and receive guidance and support. Collective spiritual experiences. AI can facilitate collective spiritual experiences, such as a virtual prayer group, online religious ceremonies, or AI-generated sacred music. These experiences can create a sense of connection and community, even if we are physically distant, and provide opportunities for shared reflection and growth. But with every new technology comes ethical and moral challenges, and AI is no exception. As we navigate the intersection of spirituality and AI, we must be mindful of the risks and limitations of this technology and seek to use it in ways that align with our deeper values and principles. For example, bias and discrimination. AI algorithms can perpetuate and amplify existing biases and stereotypes if they are trained on incomplete or biased data. This can lead to unfair and harmful outcomes. especially for marginalized groups. We must ensure that AI is designed and used in ways that promote equity, diversity, and inclusion. Privacy and autonomy. AI can collect and analyze vast amounts of personal data, which can be used to manipulate or control our behavior and decisions. We must be vigilant about protecting our privacy and autonomy, and demand transparency and accountability from AI developers and users. Purpose and meaning. AI can help us achieve our goals and solve certain problems, but it cannot replace the human dimension of spirituality. Just as love, compassion, and creativity and purpose cannot be replaced. We must resist the temptation to use AI as a substitute for human connection and empathy, and cultivate our spiritual lives in ways that honor our unique and irreplaceable humanity. Now, Jake has a few words.
Just a couple. Some of you may feel like today's program has been a little bit different or off, and that's probably just because me, and this is the first service I've done. But also that's probably because every word that we've spoken up here verbatim until now was written by a chatbot AI. Here's the part where I wanted to interject into that. These are the words that I'm speaking.
Even the story for all ages.
The story for all ages was completely written by AI. The images were created by AI. There's several different types of AI, some that create images. One of the ones that is getting really big right now and kind of blowing up is called a large language model, or an LLM AI. And so, yeah. But, and we're going to go over a couple things, but I wanted to interject and talk about some of the ethics of AI directly. The ethics that I thought of, not AI thought of. I did use AI to help me write my segment here, but I am the author. I edited it. I reviewed it. I went over it. That wasn't the case for everything up until now. This is straight up verbatim. AI is not going to go anywhere. In fact, I believe that we are on the precipice of a change towards integrating AI into our daily lives in major ways that no one could have envisioned. I believe that the technology will fundamentally transform our lives and the way that we do many things, just like the invention of the computer and the internet. Many of us in the know, I see people who are on the forefront of technology, who research this kind of stuff, look into it, read a lot about it, watch interviews and read books by the people who are creating this type of technology. We know and we understand how the models have been created and how they have been used, have concerns. I want to talk about them directly here because it is important how we can all work together. Because even though there are a certain segment of the population that are kind of in the know, AKA, it's going to take a collective of everybody to assuage the concerns that just those people in the know have. It's important that how we can all work together toward making sure that the algorithms that are used in a responsible manner. One of the major ethical concerns related to AI is the issue of accountability. As AI systems become more autonomous, it becomes harder to assign responsibility for their actions. For example, if a self-driving car causes an accident, who is responsible? The car's manufacturer, the programmer who wrote the code for the car, the person who is driving the car, or the person who owns the car. To ensure that AI is used in a responsible manner, it is important to establish clear guidelines for accountability and liability, and to ensure that those guidelines are enforced. It is up to all of us to ensure that the guidelines are created, and not just those in the know. And it is important to note, however, that removing AI altogether is not going to happen, and it's probably not the best choice either. The question there is it more moral to force humans to drive cars on their own and have higher death rates because of it, because we do not want to address the guidelines? As Micah mentioned, another primary ethical concern surrounding AI is bias. AI systems are only as good as the data they are trained on. And if that data is biased, the AI system will be biased as well. For example, facial recognition technology has been found to be less accurate when identifying people of color due to bias in the data sets used to train the system. To ensure that AI is used in an ethical manner, it's important to be aware of those types of biases and work to eliminate them. This can be done by using more diverse data sets, by ensuring that the people creating the AI systems are themselves diverse and representative of the population at large. It is, at this point, I should tell you that the data sets that are being used to train AI are us. They are the interactions that we have on a daily basis. They are the Facebook messages that we message each other. They are the Twitter messages that we message each other. If you think that Elon Musk bought Twitter because he was having a feud, you're wrong. Twitter is a data set. And I was thinking about this last night when I was, going over it in my head, and really, the cat is out of the bag. AI is here, and it's going to fundamentally transform the way we do things. And we are training it in our daily lives. How do we ensure that, we have these biases taken care of, the ethical concerns? And a lot of aspects, it's kind of like a child. How do you train a child to be ethical? How do you train a child to be moral? We have to be nice to one another. When we communicate with each other, we have to be the way we want AI to communicate with us. Privacy. AI systems can process vast amounts of personal data, and if that data falls into the wrong hands, it can be used for nefarious purposes. To ensure that AI is used in an ethical manner, it's important to establish clear rules around data privacy and to ensure that those rules are followed. Again, everyone needs to be involved in creating those rules, and some of those rules that we should be implementing, including creating strong data encryption standards. And when we create strong data encryption standards, we need to also make sure that they're quantum proof, because quantum computers are on the horizon. And the reason why we need to make encryption algorithms quantum proof now is based on the idea of save now, encrypt later. So you may have encrypted data now that is being trawled and recorded and saved by people who want to use that data. They can't right now because it's encrypted. But when quantum computers come online, a couple hours, it's unencrypted, and now they have the data. We need to make sure that we do that so that we can ensure that only authorized personnel have access to sensitive data, and regulating transparency with users about how their data is being collected and used. Explainability is also an important ethical consideration when it comes to AI. As AI systems become more complex, it can be difficult to understand how they arrive at their decisions. This can be problematic, especially when AI is used to make important decisions that affect people's lives. To ensure that those tools are used in an ethical manner, it's important to ensure that AI systems are transparent and explainable. That means transparent and explainable to everyone. Creating guidelines, regulations, and rules now that call for transparency is important to making sure that as this technology is developed, transparency is not left behind. Okay, there you go. So I put my concerns up front. And when Micah was talking, the concerns came after. It's interesting to note. Now, while there are certainly ethical concerns that need to be addressed by AI as it continues to advance exponentially, it's important to recognize that it also has the potential to transform our lives in incredibly positive ways. Micah mentioned a few specific examples already. By focusing on the benefits of artificial intelligence and working to address ethical concerns, we can ensure that we are using these powerful tools to make the world a better place. So there's like I said before, this is coming. There's nothing going to change it. You can't deregulate it. There's like 4 things you can do. You can bury your head in the sand. You can scream. You can try to deregulate it, or you can engage in a positive manner. My personal belief is that the only way that we can actually make things better in the future is to engage in it in a positive manner. So, these are some of the things that are coming down the line. Improved efficiency and productivity. AI can help us automate tasks that were previously time-consuming and tedious. How long did it take for the AI to write that script?
Less than a half an hour for the entire thing.
For the entire thing, yeah. Using AI to help create this service today allowed Micah and myself to spend more time with our families. That's an example. Enhanced healthcare. AI has the potential to revolutionize the healthcare industry by helping doctors diagnose diseases more accurately and efficiently, providing personalized treatment plans, and even predicting potential health issues before they occur. An example of this, I saw this the other day, was an AI image recognition program that was successfully identifying breast cancer years out from mammograms. Advancements in scientific research. AI can analyze vast amounts of data and identify patterns that humans may not be able to detect. This can be incredibly valuable in fields such as astronomy, physics, and biology, where there is a large amount of data to sift through. Improved transportation. We already talked about self-driving cars. They can reduce the number of accidents caused by human error while also reducing traffic congestion and improving fuel efficiency. So it's not just efficiency, you don't have to drive your car. It's also now when people are utilizing vehicles to move from point A to B, collectively they're using less energy. Increased accessibility. AI can help bridge the gap for people with disabilities, but providing them with tools and technologies that enable them to participate more fully in society. One example is voice recognition software that can help people with mobility issues control their devices more easily. Another example, because I was looking at some things last night, another example is currently there is an application that blind people use called Be My Eyes. It's a phone application that, if you don't know what it is, it's a phone application that people with vision disability can put on their phone, and when they need somebody who has the capability to look at what their camera on their phone can see and describe it to them, they can use this app. It calls somebody who's signed up to be in this program, and they ask them questions about it. Like Skylar and I use it. I helped somebody who was visually impaired know what the temperature on their thermostat was because their thermostat didn't have any accessibility for them. It was just an LCD with the temperature on it. 2 buttons. There was no feedback for them to be able to tell what the temperature was set to. AI can integrate into applications where that isn't necessary. They just ask Google or Alexa, to look at something and describe it, and it will be able to do that. Enhanced creativity. Artificial intelligence can be used to generate new and innovative ideas by analyzing data and making connections that humans may not have thought of. It can be incredibly valuable in fields such as art, music, and design. A piece of art that was created by artificial intelligence won, what was it, a photo contest?
A digital photo.
A digital photo contest. And there's a big debate in the art world about the use of artificial intelligence, but I think it's fantastic. I think artists can use it as a tool to make their lives better. Improved environmental sustainability. AI can be used to analyze environmental data and help us make more informed decisions about how to conserve natural resources and reduce our carbon footprint. So it can help us save ourselves a little bit. We'll see. So that's all the things that I've just a cursory look, just a glance of what AI can do. It's my belief like I said earlier, it's going to fundamentally change everything that we do in our lives the way the internet has done, like similar to the way the internet has. The internet's ingrained in everything we do. This is going to happen with AI. It's going to happen faster. AI was, I think it was February was the month. It became the quickest adoption of technology in human history. 100 million users in 30 days, twice the population of the UK. Faster than cryptocurrencies, much faster than social media. So we're on the precipice and it's coming. But I think at this point, unless Micah, you have something else to add, we are going to go to congregational dialogue. We're here to answer any questions you have, talk about it in any way you want.
Were you referencing chatbot when you said it was adopted?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT 3 and ChatGPT 4 is already out.
Yeah, but that's what you meant.
Yeah.
There's phone apps for that too.
Yeah, I, in the first part of the service today, one written by AI, I heard a definition for AI, written by AI. And I heard the word spirituality cast about quite a bit, how AI will intersect with our spirituality. And I don't think I'm the only one here who has a little problem with the word, and it's not because I object to it in a religious sense. I just don't understand what people mean by spirituality. I did not hear a working definition for that in this presentation. So I may have to ask AI what it means by spirituality.
So, go ahead.
In the meantime, if any of you, have a working definition for what it means to you, and words do have meaning, right? That's why we use them, to convey meaning. If you have a working definition or meaning for you, what it means, what the word spirituality or spiritual means, please come tell me. I've asked people in this congregation before, and about the most I got was, well, it means something different for everyone. So if it means something different for everyone, what are we really saying when we say spiritual? That's it.
Thanks, Rob.
I agree with Rob's comments. I don't know what it means either. One thing about AI that I found interesting, one of the things very close to my heart, I thought I was going to be an academic and specifically at Oxford was my hope, and I was headed that way. But one of the things that's happening with AI now is it's very difficult for professors to determine whether you wrote your essay or whether AI wrote your essay. And it's really restructuring higher learning and how they're able to assess students. So I was interested in if you knew anything more about that and how AI is going to change higher education for people who are in it as we get more and more into AI.
Yeah, I think that for higher education and the use of AI to create papers, there's going to be a fundamental shift in how education works at that level. The question I have is, if I am the one that created the prompt to generate that document, am I the author because I used a tool to create the paper? Or is higher education going to enforce that the human aspect of generating the ideas be required?
In response to that, I might add that education is going to have to develop tools to decide, make those decisions. Okay,
Yeah, it's a debate right now
Yeah.
that's going on.
Right.
Is it like an English teacher, or is an English teacher going to allow the students to use the tools to write the papers?
And
No?
math teachers 20 years ago didn't want you to use a calculator. Okay, so I'm passing on some information that Skylar just texted over on the YouTube chat. She said to let you know that the last time she used that app that Jake was talking about with people with sight issues, she got a call for a lady who needed to know what color of clothes she was wearing to see whether or not she matched up, so, or it was what she thought she had.
Just a very quick comment. I think the solutions to a lot of these problems in terms of the adoption of AI in education are already available. One such is the idea of a Socratic dialogue, which is that the teacher actually verbally talks to the students, and the students have to reciprocate in that verbally, okay? So there's already tools that they will have to use instead of the idea of using a set of written. Also, those same types of, the same tools that are used to write those papers will also be used to determine if they were written by the person that's handing them in.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Right, and also my comment about that is, you know, if you have to decide about, in the education sector, you have to decide about what you're trying to teach. What is the student trying to learn? Is the student trying to learn how to write a paper? Sometimes. Or, yes, sometimes. Or is the student trying to learn fundamentals, you know, ideas about a specific subject? And so I think that the tools are changing, and therefore I think that education is going to have to come up with different methods of education to still accomplish the same goal of teaching those ideas.
Just a question for you, Jake. What kind of AI being used in hearing impairment issues?
For hearing impairment?
Yeah.
Well, I know for hearing impairment, they're using, like, artificial intelligence uses large data sets. And so, as an example with self-driving cars, artificial intelligence is used to use vision to determine whether the stoplight is green or red, right? Well, when you're on Google and you're signing into Google and Google says, hey, I know I got your password correct, but I want you to look at this image and tell me if there's any hills in it or if there's a motorcycle in it. That's when their technology couldn't pick it out, but you just trained it a little bit more. And I think that kind of learning model is going to happen with auditory as well, where they're going to have a lot of auditory inputs that are going to be trained to be able to pick out information from that the auditory information. So as an example, maybe you'll have special hearing aids that will be able to block out all noise of a crowd in a concert. Because your hearing aids will be able to analyze the sound and determine what noise is crowd and what's not.
I can imagine many positive uses for AI. One of my concern is about bias in the data sets and also the use of AI to facilitate more disinformation. And I'm wondering, how do we deal with, like, who evaluates whether there's bias in a data set? How do we correct it?
Well, like I said earlier, the data set is us. It is the communication that we have between each other. For specific data, like, there's two different types of AI. There's specific AI and general AI. So specific AI is specific to one thing. I want you to look through these images and tell me which one is red, right? It's really good at that. General AI is, we're just right about to have general AI, and general AI is going to use all of us as its data set. And so the bias that we have is the bias that's going to be in the data set. It is important right now, even more so than in the past. We've always told each other, hey, we need to reach out to each other and be kind to one another. It is extremely important that we do that more proactively.
I would add, if any of you know who Bruce Lee is, right? Famous martial arts master. He changed the way that fighting was done by being proactive during the fight. Okay, we say that we are part of, that we have social justice and work towards that. It is ever more important that we transform those social justice values and actions into the digital realm, because that's where that will get applied. Okay? So it's all that much more important for us to be the Bruce Lee of our collective consciousness.
So a thought that, I'm Kinsey Anderson, by the way. A thought occurred to me while listening. I just recently just this year finished my MPH, and in leadership in public health practice. And there's an increasing move in leadership toward systems thinking, design thinking, stakeholder engagement, collective decision making to empower and implement more sustainable solutions that actually address an issue. And your comments about AI being able to analyze a lot of input and make better decisions got me to thinking, I just got my degree, and maybe it's going to be obsolete here soon, because maybe my job isn't so much to make the decisions, but to know how to use the AI to make those decisions.
Yeah, and when I talk about AI fundamentally changing the way our society works, like the internet did and like computers did, people are going to lose their jobs. People's degrees are going to be what some would say worthless. I would disagree with that, because it fundamentally changes somebody when they go and get a degree. But it's also going to create a tremendous amount of jobs, and it's going to change the way we do work.
Well, and that's exactly what I'm thinking is not so much that I will become obsolete,
right?
Because I think there's still a need for a human to understand the processes at work and to understand what inputs need to be put in.
Right.
You know, make sure the right stakeholders are at the table, make sure that all the pieces of the system that need to be considered in the design thinking process are there. But to do less of that analysis myself, which, hey, if I could save some time, okay, I might be open to that idea. But because I spend a lot of time doing that.
Right.
But it's interesting to think that, okay, I've just done all of this learning and I'm applying these skills, and boy, howdy, I maybe need to get ahead of the curve and learn how to do it differently already.
Yeah.
I'm Robin Hanson. I am one of those college professors who's going to have to deal with this real soon. And so 2 things. One, I'm very concerned that we lose that human element. I already see it in schoolwork and stuff. They're like, no, take the human element out of it. Just work with the pieces that you're being given, and there shouldn't be anything about your subjectivity or your background or your experience in it. And I'm concerned about that, because that is what makes us who we are, okay? My second thing, I have nothing against AI, but I also see that as an anthropologist that it is definitely a tool of control. Because once we've gone to a lot of online classes, and, you know, I facilitate online classes. I don't feel like a teacher anymore, because it's so difficult to have that interaction, that learning, that discussion, that bringing all those voices in the classroom together and working through some discussions. I try to use discussions and different things, Zoom and everything in the online classes, and it's just not the same. And then and so what's starting to happen is all the classes are kind of starting to look the same. They're all that same format, and I see it coming with AI. You're not going to need the teacher anymore. You're going to have the program, the AI, who's going to teach you. And the thing is, though, and we're seeing it with all the software programs and stuff, 1 or 2 companies can control everything. And you think the government won't be controlling AI and identifying and distributing what that AI will be used for and how it will be used? I just see it as the possibility. We're going to have to be very careful with AI.
Yeah. And so when you talk about AI teaching students in that way, they will be able to more effectively teach those students than any teacher ever has. And you could disagree, but they will have analyzed every piece of video of a teacher teaching students. Yeah, I love you too. I do. I really do.
Now, what did AI say now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Bill Griffiths. The example you gave with that application isn't really AI, because you're offloading that to another person.
Right.
Yeah, so that's...
The Be My Eyes is not AI.
Yeah,
that's an example of a technology that's in use right now.
Yeah, I have an app that actually has some image recognition on my phone.
Right.
Yeah, that, where you're offloading it, that's 15 years old already.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
But I'm very skeptical of the term AI, because especially now, I think everyone needs to be aware that it's the hot thing, so you hear it everywhere. Every company wants to brand themselves as AI, so it's a bandwagon everyone's jumping on now, and it's often so diluted that you can't interpret a spell check as AI. So, but I was heartened that you used the term large language model.
Yeah.
Because that is precisely what ChatGPT and these other bots are. They are large language models. So they're taking a corpus of data from across the internet, and they're making statistical approximations on this data set. There is no understanding involved. There is no intelligence. It's mathematics. But we as humans want to attribute understanding. We do it with our pets all the time. So really be careful of that. I was very heartened to learn that the beginning of the program was written by ChatGPT, because for me, it used a lot of words, but it didn't actually say anything. And if college students do this for their essays, any college instructor who cannot understand they're using a lot of words, but they're not saying anything, they shouldn't be teaching.
I'm going to give it a shot. Lewis Mumford wrote Techniques in Civilization, The Pentagon of Power, and so on. He was all about tools and human beings, what they do with tools. And I would suggest what we're talking about is this song called Tools and Power, and this is just another verse.
We're close. We're not there yet. Consciousness in and of itself is something that we don't quite understand yet. Yeah. But we're close. And because of that, our tools are close. The question will be, once everything is said and done, it may be within our lifetimes, will our tools be acceptable to us as we are to them? In closing, I'll read some more from ChatGPT. As we conclude our exploration of spirituality and artificial intelligence, let us remember that our spiritual journeys are ongoing and ever evolving. The advance in technology that we see today, including artificial intelligence, presents new opportunities and challenges for our spiritual growth and development. Let us approach this topic with curiosity, open-mindedness, and a deep sense of reverence for the mystery of life. May we continue to cultivate a spiritual practice that honors the sacredness of all life, that promotes empathy and compassion, and that invites us to live in harmony with ourselves and each other and the world around us. And may we always remember that our greatest source of wisdom and guidance lies not in machines or algorithms, but in the infinite and divine presence that surrounds us and dwells within us. May we go forth from this place with a renewed commitment to live with intention and purpose, to seek truth and justice, and to honor the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. Amen.
One little tiny bit. We're almost done. As we prepare to depart from this sacred time of reflection and exploration, we extinguish this flame. But not the light of spirit that burns within us. We leave this space with a deeper appreciation for the role that artificial intelligence can play in our spiritual lives and a greater awareness of the ethical and moral concerns, challenges that arise as we engage with that technology. May we continue to seek the truth and wisdom that resides within us and around us, and may we use those tools and technologies with care and discernment, always guided by the principles of love, justice, compassion, equity. As we go forth from this place, may we carry the flame of hope, peace, and understanding with us, and may it guide us on our journey of discovery and growth.